Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Gems. My name is Akila McIntosh. I am a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, and I help business owners like you organize their financial transactions. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 most common bookkeeping mistakes and tips to how to avoid these mistakes. So we're going to get right into it. Mistake number 1 is mixing personal and business finances together. This is literally breaking like one of the top business commandments. Don't do this. One of the biggest mistakes you can do as an owner is mix your personal transactions with your business transactions. Imagine trying to sort through your personal grocery list and then buying inventory for your e-commerce store, your Amazon store, right? Well, if you use the same card, well, you can't write that off because you've mixed the personal groceries that you have and the inventory that you're supposed to have. It's together. So how will you be able to write it off? You need to keep your business expenses and your personal expenses separate. Now, what's the tip to doing that to make sure you can avoid this? Make sure when you start your business or when you start your side hustle, have a separate bank account, specifically a business bank account, and have business credit cards. Keep that stuff separate from your personal credit cards because if you commingle funds, again, you are giving the IRS a reason to come snoop around and audit your business. So that would be the first mistake and tip. Keep your business and personal transactions separate sides. All right, mistake number 2, failing to track receipts. Receipts are critical for tracking expenses and maximizing on tax deductions. Say you buy a laptop for your business, right? But you don't save the receipt. Now, when tax season comes around, you can't deduct it because the receipt is nowhere to be found. You can't write it off. You don't have proof that it was a business expense. You can say it was a business expense, but you can't prove that. You don't have it on a business credit card. It didn't come out of your business bank account. You don't have proof of that. So what would be the solution to this mistake? Well, if you use QuickBooks or any type of app that tracks like business expenses or even like a Google Drive or Excel spreadsheet, that would be perfect. I'll use QuickBooks because again, I am a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. So, QuickBooks has a mobile app that you can use and that'll allow you to take pictures of all receipts. So that way it'll just automatically upload it and then you can, easily just organize and categorize, that expense. So that would be the tip there. Make sure you're tracking all of your receipts. So if you're going to use like your phone, your mobile app, make sure you have like a QuickBooks or something that can help track those expenses. Now, number 3 is neglecting regular reconciliations. Now, what is a reconciliation? Reconciliations are simply just comparing your financial transactions to your bank statements. So all of your financial records, everything that's going to be sitting in your QuickBooks, you need to compare that to all of your bank statements, your credit card statements, all the money you're coming out. So you need to make sure that all those transactions match up together. Otherwise, you're going to miss errors. You're going to miss any fraudulent charges. You're going to miss any possible duplicate transactions. So imagine, thinking that you have $10,000 in the bank, but then all of a sudden you think, no, maybe you should have an extra 5,000 in there. Well, if you reconciled your account, you'd probably, recognize that that money was never there. So the best tip I could give for this one is make sure you're doing reconciliations monthly. And you can do this, at the end of the month once your statement comes in. Just take like 30 minutes out of each end of the month to compare, you know, everything that's in your QuickBooks to your bank account statements or your credit card statements. Um, especially if you're first starting out, you can probably do this yourself because you probably won't have a whole lot of transactions. But as your business grows, you're going to need to eventually, hire a bookkeeper and outsource this so that way, you don't mess this up because it can get messy. It can become frustrating. Trying to figure out, well, why don't I have this amount in this account? So that would be my tip there. Just do monthly reconciliations, which is what we do here at Millennial Gems Bookkeeping. We will do reconciliations of your accounts and have them to you most of the time at the top of the month. So, number 4 is not categorizing your transactions correctly. Misclassifying transactions is another common pitfall. Say you recorded, a business loan as revenue. Now, in your QuickBooks, it looks as if your income has shot way up, right? And then, because of that, you're probably going to end up paying more in taxes. So you want to make sure that you're recognizing your transactions as what they are supposed to be. So if you have, things you bought from the store, like groceries or something like that, like inventory, make sure that's classified as inventory. If you have business loans, any money that you're borrowing, make sure it's classified as that. If you have any supplies, make sure it's classified as supplies. You want to make sure that your stuff is classified because when it comes to doing the financial reports, it's going to be very crucial because you're going to make sure that your all your transactions are categorized as they should be. Otherwise, your financial reports will get ruined, and then again, you might just take more of a hit in taxes because you made more. You claim that you made more than you actually did. So make sure you categorize your transactions correctly. So make sure you have clear, consistent categories for your expenses. Again, QuickBooks does this perfectly. And, this allows you to, categorize and assign categories to your vendors. All right. So the last mistake is doing it yourself when you're overwhelmed. Now I get it. A lot of us want to do things ourselves. Bookkeeping can get expensive, especially when when you're starting out. Most people can probably you can probably handle your bookkeeping at first because you don't have a whole lot of transactions. So it'll be a little bit easier to do it yourself. But as I said earlier, as your business continues to grow and you continue to receive more transactions, it's going to become more complicated. And at that point, you're going to need it's not even to, it's not even like you need to think about it. Like you literally at this point have to outsource your bookkeeping. Like somebody who is an actual expert at bookkeeping and doing accounting stuff to make sure that you're not making mistakes. So imagine you trying to do this all by yourself and then you realize, you're ended up like months behind. And then by the time you call someone maybe like myself or, somebody on the team, and now it's now going to take hours to clean up that mess, right? And it's going to, it's going to set you back a whole lot. You want to make sure that you're keeping up with your financial, what you're categorizing. You want to keep up with getting your accounts reconciled. You want to keep up with making sure that your financial reports are up to date. So the tip I would give you for this one is just, if bookkeeping at some point, if accounting really isn't your strong suit, just outsource it. Just pay somebody to do it. Save yourself the stress. There's no point of you're already stressed out about, you already got other things on your mind trying to grow your business. Don't stress yourself out trying to do the financial transactions too. Just outsource it and take that stress off your plate. As business owners, as entrepreneurs, we go through enough stress. Life is already stressful as it is as an entrepreneur or business owner. So don't stress yourself out more doing something that you don't need to do. Just pay somebody to do it for you. So hire a professional bookkeeper like myself. So those would be the 5 common mistakes, bookkeeping mistakes, and 5 tips to make sure, to help you avoid those common mistakes. So, my bonus tip for you guys would simply just be, consistency is key. Make sure you're tracking expenses, make sure you're reconciling your accounts, and making sure you're categorizing your transactions correctly and sticking to a routine so you can avoid, the headaches and stuff like that. I would say if you're going to do this yourself without hiring a bookkeeper, then make sure that your weekly tasks are recording expenses, scanning receipts, categorizing those transactions. And then on a monthly basis, make sure you're reconciling your accounts. So that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you are following the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on any podcast platform that you are listening to this to. And I will see you guys on the next one. Oh, wait, right before we go, I will leave a link in the description to my website, Millennial Gems Bookkeeping. You can schedule a consultation if you are in need of a bookkeeper, whether you are a new entrepreneur, business owner, or a seasoned entrepreneur, business owner who's just looking to change their bookkeeping. I will leave that in the link for you to schedule a consultation, and we'll get a quote to you as soon as possible, as soon as I can look at your books, and we'll see if you're a good fit. So again, I will see you guys on the next one.